And welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Cardo W. Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tucker Jr., the Washington Mystics. They fell to the Wings this evening, 92-69. We saw Dallas get out to a strong start, and they never really looked back. Cardo brought up a couple things in pregame, one of which where Dallas was called out, as you mentioned, Cardell, about their lack of and selfishness on the defensive end. And then I think the biggest point was, we talked about Jessica Shepard in pregame, and her fingerprints were all over this one. But we'll start with you, Cardell, and then Ray, just your thoughts on what happened tonight in Dallas.
Literally everything we talked about in the pregame show that couldn't happen happened. And then the stuff we thought the Mystics would win because they've been strong throughout the season, the short season so far. They lost that battle. It was just the Wings just completely, let's call it what it is. They dominated them, and it's nothing. There's no other way of putting it, man. One, they caught them. I think they caught the Mystics off guard with their pace because their pace was slow over the first 2 or 3 games. They were pretty much tied at pace, and they came out running, and they were swarming defensively. The Mystics got to do something about these turnovers, man. They have 8 turnovers in the opening quarter. Is that really set the tone right there? And the Wings, that's how they got their 19-9 lead. They had 8 turnovers, and the Wings scored 12 of their 19 off of those turnovers. Like that's a big hole out the gate, man. And then you get out rebounded. That's normally the Mystics bread and butter with the bigs they have. They got out rebounded, man. He 31-24. Fast break points, 13-3 Wings. What we also say, the Mystics turn the ball over, but the Wings don't. Even during their struggles coming into this game, they don't. Paige is the primary ball handler, and she literally only turns it over once. And then the other two, Ogunbowale and Odyssey Sims, the other two primary ball handlers, they only average 2 a game. The turnovers, the Wings only had 9, but they had 30 assists. So everybody was eating. So who do you guard? You're not rebounding. And here's a bright spot for the Mystics. They actually shot well from the field. They had 49, 41, 80 splits. But they turned the ball over. They didn't rebound. They didn't defend. And then not only did they not defend, they fouled. And they put the Wings on the line. And you can't put the Wings on the line. Well, coming into this game, they didn't get there a lot. But when they got there, they made 80%. You put them on the line, and they torched you, and they shot 88%. Yeah, by far their worst game of the season is not even close because there's the only bright spot I can see is that they were efficient from the field. The first couple games they were pretty, inefficient from the field. But everything else was non-existent. The only ones that could try to do something was Shakira and Lauren Betts off the bench, offensively. This was just a bad day at the office. Let's call it what it is, man. The Wings handed it on, and it's pretty simple to me. I mean, you brought up Jessica Shepard coming into the game, and she put up Kiki numbers. She outplayed the All-Star, 12 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. Come on, man. And she leads the team in assists, by the way. She 5, so that's pretty much on average. 16 rebounds? Nah, that's something different. You know what I mean? Even though she lead the team in that too. Paige, 18, 7 to 3. It was just a clinic, man. If you look at the plus minus on the Mystics, there's literally one player that's in the positive, and that's Lucy Olsen. She was a +1. Everybody else a minus. Meanwhile, the Wings is completely flipped. Everybody pretty much was in, in the positive, and Alana Smith and Lee Euro, who just barely got a game, were a -1. It was just a clinic in every facet of the game, man. The Mystics got to do some soul searching. They got to figure some things out. I understand they're young and there's growing pains, and this is just one lot. It's early in the season, but there's losing, and then there's losing like this, and you can't afford to lose like this. you can't get dominated in literally every facet of the game. That just can't happen.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, man. The Wings, they just torched them in every way possible. And yeah, it started with the Mystics not taking care of the ball, and that's been a constant through these first four games. So they definitely got to figure something out in that regard. But you know, even though it's still early in the season, but I'll call this game an anomaly because I don't think we'll see another time where their core three gets outplayed to this magnitude. Like Will Sonya had 7 points tonight, on 3 of 6, and 5 turnovers. That might be her worst game as a pro. So but yeah, but that goes to show what Dallas's defense was on tonight. Because they were everywhere. They were swarming. They had the Mystics flustered. And the turnovers they created led them to get easy points, and it also stopped the Mystics from being able to set up on defense where they're usually strong as well. They did not look good defensively this game at all. Dallas, Dallas had 30 assists. That just tells you what type of clinic they ran. And the Mystics, man, they had more turnovers than they did assists. So that's when you have a game like that, the score is going to look like this. But yeah, the most troubling part of tonight was the turnovers, yeah, but them getting dominated inside, which is usually somewhere where they excel, rebounder wise, points in the paint. They think they lead the league in that category. Dallas kind of stifled them tonight, so they just weren't able to get to any of their strengths, and all their weaknesses were magnified. So kudos to Dallas, man. Their coach lit a fire under them. They came on, responded, and yeah, they just coasted to an easy win.
Yeah, I think you guys covered it. It, the thing to it is this game four. The constant thing we've been talking about is just the turnovers. They are costly, and they're changing games. Cardano, they- you mentioned earlier, like it was as we were getting to the second quarter, like 8 turnovers in the first quarter. It's hard to survive that if you're at home. That's a that's a death knot. Like on the road, like you just can't do that. And then it was like a Grand Canyon difference between those two things between the teams tonight. Was that 19, 20 turnovers, 23 conceded points. You, you can't win like that. It's impossible. But I'm gonna put it up there as always. Third game for you guys.
So I go Jessica Shepard, man. She wrecked shop.
Yep.
12, 16, and 6. No
On 4-7.
turnovers.
On 4-7. No threes.
Man, no arguments, no arguments for me. Xfactor for the evening.
Mm, uh, hard to say. I mean, you gotta go with Paige because her complete game, her complete impact. 18, 7 to 3, 7 to 12, 4 or 5, one turnover on her average. Just efficient all around, man. Plus 21. What more can you say?
Right. Your thoughts on Xfactor?
Um, yeah, I go with Paige as well. She was just the steady hand. You know, Jessica was having her way. Paige just directed traffic, and when she needed to score, she did. When she needed to distribute, she did, and she brought it defensively as well.
All right. We'll get to some of these comments. Take this off the screen. And appreciate y'all for the comments as always. Starts with it never makes no sense. Our complete lack of outside shooting and shot creation from the guards was exposed tonight. And then followed up with Lucy Austin likely earned herself more minutes going forward as the only guard who could create separation for herself. So if you guys want to chime in on those two comments.
But they shot well from outside. They 49-41 splits. 49% from the field, 41% from deep. 80% from the line. That's not what beat them. They were making shots. I mean, Dallas is not good that good. I mean, they were good defensively. Well, they looked better defensively tonight because the Mystics were handing them the ball. You know what I mean? And like they was holding them to one shot, so it looked like it. When you're not getting rebounds, and then they run it down your throat and they just scoring, it looked like that. But no, they were efficient. Maybe certain points in the game they were a little cold, but nah, that's far from it. Maybe the way they scored was an issue because normally they dominate the paint, but it's the little things, the not getting back on defense, the turnovers, the lack of rebounding, which is not the norm for them. To start the season, um, lack of ball movement. Um, yeah, man, it's but they got to do something about the turnovers. You got to cut that down. You have to. Like that's just you fighting an uphill battle every game. That gets exhausting, and you're a young team as is. You don't even have experience to know how to get out of that. Because if you did, you wouldn't be in that hole to begin with, man. That's tough for vets to always come out that hole. So the offense was far from the issue.
And my only 2 cents I had is I think it compounds the issue when they turn it over that much because they get lost in transition defense with some of the cross match and everything else after they turn it over. So and that sometimes that leads to some of the silly fouls and everything else. But the root of it starts with handing the ball to the other team.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because Kiki a lot of times, like you said, a cross matcher, she find herself on the wing. She closing out on Shepard or Alana Smith or something. You see what I'm saying, or Ogbowale or whatever, and she's athletic enough, but you can tell she's not comfortable because as soon as they jab, you could just tell she opens up immediately. So it's just tough, man. Shakira has more athleticism to cover ground and move and guard more positions. Kiki's more of a 4 or 5 strictly. You know what I mean? So when you get them cross matches, yeah, they took advantage. And they knew you could just tell from the opening tip they was running. They haven't ran like that all season. And that's why you push pace to get those advantages, to get those mismatches, to really throw a team off defensively, especially one that proved coming in that they were formidable. And that's something the Mystics got to go back to the drawing board about because it really did mess up their rhythm because it created a lot of mismatches. Like you saw Georgia like on Shepard, six, you know what I'm saying? Like that's tough. And she struggles with bigger guards because she got to learn how to guard them, man. Like it's tough. That's why Rory gets. She ain't played that much. Rory had 5 minutes. It's a reason for that. So yeah, man, they got the film session gonna be nice for them. It's gonna be right on time.
Yeah, they got some days to let that film session soak in and everything before they head back on action. And that's a great point you talk about with the pace. They're coming off back-to-back games against teams that push the pace. The difference was in the Indiana game. We talked about Washington dominating inside, which helped you know it helped them get away with some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, if they didn't dominate inside, and hey man, like again, we're gonna keep talking about the turnovers until it's something that they're able to rectify. Doug Dane said, "What do y'all think about the rotation?" Everybody's talking about Rory. I believe it ain't more. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. I would just say like we're game 4, but
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Wilson, it's game 4, man. It's a lot of things they're still trying to figure out. I think they both bring a lot of the same things to the table. I think Georgia shoots a little better, so that would be especially with them needing to spread the floor. I think she would be a little more. They're leaning a little more towards her, but yeah, we'll see how that pans out as the season goes on. At this point, Georgia's a starter. I mean, they're 2-2, so I don't think it's even time to start having this conversation yet. But yeah, I don't think it's. I think Georgia's fine as they just continue to mesh and build continuity with each other. That thing will work itself out.
He didn't follow that up, just agreeing with what we all been talking about. This, yeah, no way can they average 20 turnovers. Just no way. Um, Area 11 team went down to Texas and got barbecued.
One more thing about that Rory Georgia thing.
Yep.
Just being real, Georgia's a first round pick. Rory's a third round pick. She would have to play like pure D shit to get replaced in that starting line. Like, yeah, she just ain't a WNBA player, though. It had to be that bad for that to happen. So, yeah, that ain't gonna change. It's a business side of this. You got they drafted her in the first round for a reason. They're not gonna give up on that right away because that means they were dead wrong on that. They're gonna give her every opportunity to fail. Rory, like third round picks don't even make it like that. You know what I'm saying? So Rory doing that was great. Obviously, she's a player, but yeah, it's a long ways from that type of talk.
Appreciate the dose of business reality it is needed. Tonight, you entirely exposed the concerns of teams packing the paint and our lack of shooting. I was simply saying, go back to what Cardell said, the turnovers, man, like the turnovers, turnovers, the turnovers. Even with some of it tonight, like several of the bigs had 4+ turnovers. You can't like there were some times they didn't even get a chance. The ball didn't get from inside to outside to potentially miss the outside shot. It was being taken by Dallas. But you guys feel free to chime in on that if you feel like it.
I mean, they were efficient. It literally was turning the ball over and they're running down your throats and it's mismatches everywhere and they just making reads and scoring. It was literally that. You see what I'm saying? And then when you get down big, it's just tough to overcome. Like they won the second quarter, they got back in the game. They were, 29 or whatnot. Halftime score, yeah, the halftime score was. Let me see. It was 38-29. They were within striking distance. Then they come out in the third quarter, 28-17. That's all you wrote. That's all she wrote. And then they fight back in the fourth, 26-23. The third quarter did a man. So that wasn't it. You can't. I get this area with the analytics and stuff like, but you can't outshoot your way out of everything, though. Like when you turning the ball over, that means it's not an attempt going up, and you're giving them extra possessions to beat you. That's tough to overcome. It just is.
And you take that and you couple that with the fact that, again, with the turnovers, and we talked about how they've done such a great job on the glass. Tonight, he was on the glass. And it really hurt tonight because Jessica Shepard had 16 boards, I think 12 defensive. She's one of those bigs in the league. When she gets the ball, the guards are gone. They're not coming to take the ball out of her hand. When she gets it, it's go. She's pushing after she gets it. And, she was allowed to do that in Minnesota. Clearly, she's allowed to do that here. So, yeah, man, turnovers are damning. Again, touching on the turnovers, hope they keep experimenting with changing up the lineups more to see what meshes the best. Yeah, I mean, we're 4 games in.
They got a young team, man. There's gonna be a whole lot of experimenting to see. My thing is tonight, they lost already. Loss is gonna be part of it. It's just the way they lost.
Yep.
That bothers me. You know what I mean?
Like,
And
let's start. Oh, go ahead.
it's afflicted. And we've seen flashes all season of it. They would just stop the bleeding. Tonight it just full blown bleed. They bled out. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, there's a stark difference between losing in New York with some of the young mistakes or whatever, which come with it, the way they lost there, to, like you said, losing like this. Just can't. The Dave's a great point. Kiki does get closing out a lot more when we're talking about some of the cross matches after turning the ball over. Kind of disappointed we didn't see a bit more Citron running point and being aggressive.
She had
I
5 turnovers
think,
on
yeah.
There's a reason for that, man. It just wasn't a good night for her.
As Ray said, it was one. It might be up there. I'm sure it's leading the way. Um,
And
one of the
also,
worst. Go ahead.
the Wings got some nasty guards on that star lineup, man. It wasn't sweet tonight. Page, Ogbowale, and Odyssey Sims. Yeah, that's That's a tough night. You gotta come ready to play. And they just got chewed out by their coach publicly. Yeah, they, I, and I stated that in the pregame, like, yeah,
Yep.
I think the intensity was going. It's gonna be a little different tonight.
And it looked like that with some of what Sonya was dealing with. It looked like they had Paige on her quite a bit and about the same size. Like I know Paige is a one, but they're about the same size. Like you said, with all their guards, like I'm happy you said that. It was not sweet. It is a team powered by guards. Got a three guard lineup, and the four is a really big wing. Like it's a lot to deal with. To your point, Cardell, Doug Dan was mentioned. Agreeing with you, just almost no fast break points tonight. Um, with the politics, this is his response. We talking about obviously first round pick with opportunity versus a third round pick, and then
Oh,
followed up with go ahead.
politics is used as a negative thing. I mean, this is literally her rookie year. She didn't play last year. She tore ACL. You gotta give her time. I know everybody think players supposed to just come in and set the world on fire like every play. It don't work like that, man. Especially at the highest level, man. It takes time. It takes time, man. And she got to get acclimated. Like this is her first rodeo. She may have been sitting and watching, but there's a difference between watching and there's a difference between feeling. And you getting used to certain players' strength and their weaknesses and how they deal with contact. How strong certain players you ain't know they was that strong or that quick or that crack. Like it's a lot of little things you got to pick up, and the only way you can pick those things up is by being going through the fire. And she's learning on the fly. So yeah, she has experience with mental reps, but the physical is different. It's different when you feel it, when it's right there in your face, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, you can see a fire burner and know, oh, it's hot. You know it's hot, but it's different when that motherfucker burn your ass and you like, oh shit. You got experience and you learn how not to get burned, and that's what she got to learn. And it takes time. It just does. Because think about it, it's a couple of all stars, Shakira. Nobody played well tonight.
Yeah, nah, there's nothing too much positive outside of turn around going. It's only one game. You flush this one, you keep on moving. There's no silver linings here tonight. Do y'all think they should look into some adjustments with their offensive sets that has some variety?
Game 4, brother. That they're gonna make adjustments, I guess. And if they don't, then maybe they shouldn't. The people that are responsible for that should be employed. But yeah, they're and it's 12 rookies on this team. Like they're gonna it's gonna be a lot of movement, a lot of changing parts. Going to see a lot of different lineups. It's just going to be an ever fluid change going on until something solid emerges.
But also, you can change the offensive sets as much as you want. If you keep giving the ball to the other team, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Man, that's the evergreen point here. Like I know every team we've been covering teams long enough, both NBA side or WNBA side. All teams have certain things they struggle with, and there's some things that unfortunately remain evergreen themes throughout the season. Right now, for Washington, the biggest thing is giving the ball to other team. There's nothing bigger than that at this moment. I think what we have maybe for the final question or comment never makes no sense. Do you think we run more of the Cody, Sony, Cass plus double big lineup as the season goes on? I'm sure this is something maybe for later in the year because again,
Depends on the opposition.
this was just game 4.
Depends on the opposition. But Cass and Cody are rookies. Cody literally didn't even play the first couple games. They have to learn. They got to learn before you just throw them out there. But I'm pretty sure you will see it at some point. It's just going to be necessary. Some big teams out there, man. They can put some wicked lineups out there. So, but coach got to get comfortable with that. And, right now, Cass has her growing pains. So does Cody. You know what I mean? So, but I like that they still producing in some ways, regardless. But they got a lot to
Mhm.
learn.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We'll see as the season is oh so young. We'll see as it goes on, and I'm with you. I think some of this lineup you guys are curious about. It'll be born out of necessity, depending on the matchup. we'll see some of that when that time comes. You guys have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, just the dream come to mind as far as like that big lineup when they play the dream down the road. I can see them probably doing that much longer down the road.
All right, and then Doug Dave just said, great show. We appreciate you guys with the comments, man, on a regular basis. So y'all keep the comments coming. We're happy to respond to you guys. And we see you guys, I think the next game is Sunday. Sunday at 6 in Seattle. So we'll see you guys Sunday for pregame and outlook. Then.